Hi, my name is Renee Pelan. Today I'm going to be talking about the NSF Advancing Informal STEM Learning Grant, Convergent Learning from Divergent Perspectives. I'm doing this work with Dr. Kaifez. So first off, it's important for researchers to communicate their findings to the community. This is usually in the form of sharing knowledge at conferences and journal articles with colleagues within their field of study. Communicating with general public requires a knowledge of the audience and engagement techniques that are not always needed when faculty to present to or remove their own peers. While efforts have been made to support faculty in this type of dissemination through professional development, most faculty remain underprepared for such endeavors. This lack of preparation may cause faculty to minimize their scientific impact if they avoid presenting in these types of settings, as these community settings are rich opportunities to share knowledge and also spark an interest in STEM and non-academics. So what we are doing with our program is, since there's a pressing need for both a stronger public engagement with science and improved communication in science, we set out to develop a collaborative program that connects and prepares researchers from divergent fields to creatively and effectively communicate science around convergent themes to public audiences of varying ages. So the way that we're doing this is having faculty members present in three different environments. The first one being the STEAM Factory, which is an informal, traditional learning environment. Basically, you have multiple presenters that give a presentation from different disciplines in their individual presentations. And then for their convergent presentations, they all do one presentation as a lecture type style together. And they also collaborate, bringing elements from their own disciplines in. They also have the opportunity to have tables at these events where they can interact with audience members. They also participate in OHIO, which is a semi-structured learning environment. At this, they give a challenge at the beginning of the event, and it's created collaboratively, and then it's posted to the students. Again, it incorporates all elements of their own disciplines into one convergent presentation. At COSI After Dark, this is the traditional informal learning environment where you have a science museum where you have audience members walking around the museum, and then they stop at tables that the researchers have set up. So with this, we also had individual and collaborative setups for this. So with individual, they each had their own table and presented their own research, whereas collaborative, they came up again with a way to bring their research together around a theme and present on that. So some of the impact of this, we've been looking at impact on identity and motivation for faculty members, identity as a researcher, for instance, as well as motivation to collaborate with people from different disciplines and also presenting to the public. So I'm going to go over one of our participants who we're going to call Elena. So this is a trajectory of her journey. So in this case, we're going to talk about how she came in with the purpose to improve her communication. She really focused on that purpose the entire time, and then she noticed improvement. So in the first interview, we see that at the first event she was at, she actually said, "So I changed my mind actually after Monday's training. I thought I would do the slides and then people would just be bored." So we see that she's actually changing her techniques based on something that she learned from the training for all of these presentations. At the second interview, she states, "I would try to make such presentations much more interactive from now on." So something she learned from that second event is that when she has her presentation be more interactive, she has a little bit more questions, and there's also more natural questions that come out of it as well. In her third presentation, she states that she wants to put in how things relate to us as people, so they can say, "Oh, that's interesting, let me learn more about it." So kind of hooking the audience in. So it's a technique that she learned to improve her communication to the public. In the fourth interview, this is where a collaborative interview where the other ones were individual presentations that she gave. This one, she talks about an interactive demo that they can actually, touch or watch or do something with it. So that's new, and it's something that I can add to the future outreach. So again, it's another technique that she's learning, and it's something that she can see herself doing in the future to improve her presentations. At her last collaborative presentation, she stated, "So I realized that there's not just one presentation fits all." So that's really acknowledging, getting to know who the audience is that she's presenting to, and how can she adapt her presentations to fit those audiences and really grab them in and get them to come learn. And then lastly, in the exit interview, the post interview, at the end of this whole experience, she says, "Now I'm really thinking about how I'm going to talk about the research." Again, it's middle school girls, it's far beyond that. So she's talking about this new outreach that she's doing with middle school girls, and she's really looking back at her experience like, okay, I really need to think about how I'm going to put this presentation together so that way it works for this group of people. So to kind of summarize her whole journey, Elena was uncomfortable at first with knowing how to communicate to different audiences. She realized that how she used the present, using the same slides each time won't work anymore. She has learned that there's no one presentation fits all and that she needs to tailor each presentation to the audience. She is learning how to understand what knowledge the audience has, what they want to learn, their purpose for being there, so on and so forth. She's more comfortable speaking to a diverse audience that has a range of knowledge and being able to engage them with her presentations. So that's just like a little summary of like one of our participants' journey going through this process and learning to become a better science communicator to the community. So thank you again for listening to this brief presentation. I would love to engage and talk to you more about this at the open house on Thursday. So thank you again.